All right, let's rock. We have a lot of strong players in this game, and we have at least two fellows here who I think are total dead meat. I'll let you do the introductions before I say any more.
All right. So we have Ray here with Malay in teal, and then in blue we have Gabe with the Turks. In gray we have Snappy with the Burgundians. Orange, Master James with the Teutons. In red we have El Nirnrio. I don't know. In red Magyars we have Weasel with the Lithuanians here in green. Ganji here in purple with the Britons. And then we have Bohemians for Mihai in yellow.
Yep. So, my guesses of what's going to go down here: Ganji, Mihai, Ray, El Norino are all very high level. I think they all have excellent shots at it. Snappy, I think, is like 16, 1700. Definitely has a pretty good shot. Um, Weasel, a last minute substitute, a pretty casual team game player, but he like does play AoE every day and is like 1300 1v1. He has the potential. It's definitely possible. And then the ultimate underdog, Gabe, he's my IRL buddy. He's a pretty serious gamer, but AoE's like maybe not even one of his top 10 games. He's picked the Turks. Um, he'll have a grand army at some point, but with this level of play, I just don't think that a casual age player has more than like a 1 in 10,000 chance. As I may have lost Juicy here, I heard some kid commotion in his background.
Yeah, give me 1 second, man.
Yep, I assumed he was being a little busy, but he's still doing us the service of clicking around as we watch the scouts dance around the monument. Ray has this early control, which is pretty good, but he's taking so much damage on the scout, he's not going to be able to hold it any longer. Pretty interesting, actually, how these scout fights for mid go in the start.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Ganji loses a villager to a tiger, trying to come forward. Early barracks here for our Bohemian player. So Mihai trying to secure the mid for the early going.
Yep, and interesting to see Ganji lose one to the wolf. He's like literally a top 1v1 player. I guess it happens to the best of us. And Juicy, you got some weird interference thing going. I don't know if you like need to un and replug your mic or something.
Any better?
Yep, it stopped.
Okay. Yeah, it happens when I mute sometimes. Sorry for that, guys. Kiddos, life. Things are going on, So, should be all good now. Lots of resources on this map. Obviously, wood is not much of a concern in this one. A lot of extra boars starting out around your town center as well, which is nice.
Yep, a very smooth, easy start on this map. I mean, this is kind of the quintessential build towards post imp and then have a full pop fight thing.
Yep.
And
Done.
Juicy, you still have the audio thing actually.
How about now?
It's good.
Okay. Let me know if that changes, guys. I don't hear any of the feedback, so.
Yeah. Similarly, please let me know if something's up with mine. As Ganji's walling up his choke, I expect most players should wall up their chokes, but it's probably totally unnecessary. I can't imagine somebody diving into somebody else's pocket here.
Yeah. Mid control right now being contested. It's like Ray wants a piece of the action in the mid here as well, but Mihai gonna wall up across the mid here.
Yep, interesting. I guess he's prepping for a long hold in mid. I don't think it's going to work if Ray's committing multiple builds himself to it. But with the extra resources granted to him from mid and a barracks already here, if Mihai wants to hold this, he actually should be able to commit as much as necessary to do so.
Yep, looking pretty decent for him to hold here. The early walling is also interesting. Trying to secure himself a position just a little bit better. He did not wall up the entrance to his tunnel, however. Ganji, only player to do so, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it's totally unnecessary at this phase. I mean, who would waste resources rushing somebody else's base on this map?
Yeah, it is curious. Ray also housed at the moment. A little awkward. Housed for a while, actually.
Pretty
Fuel
costly.
age, very, very quick. And we see a stable coming down for a Magyar player, so looks like he might go for the middle here.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some RNG heavy aspects of the map here. Look at the relics. Ganji has 2 behind his wall, whereas some other players have 0. Perhaps that's why Ganji walled so early. But yeah, that's definitely quite unfair and very good luck for Ganji.
Yeah, Weasel also has 2 close to him as well, so it is a bit awkward.
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling, though, that Weasel's not going to pursue those as aggressively as he should.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Game 2, guys, for today. The 6th qualifier of the tournament here. One of these players will move on to join up with all of the others who have qualified already. Going to be interesting.
And yeah, the tournament format is really cool. The grand final comprises players who are able to win a free-for-all King of the Hill versus a field of pro players. I mean, it's the closest thing to pro free-for-all King of the Hill as we got, and definitely an oddity, a rare sight in this age scene where, you know, the standard 1v1 RM tournament is so standardized that people like make a huge deal over small settings tweaks, like starting with a few extra bills.
Yeah. Villager for Mihai. It looks like it's going to get sniped here. So this middle position will not be fortified anymore unless he sends more vills forward, which could be possible here. Obviously, holding this mid, we'll switch to his point of view. You can just see the res ticking away here quite handily.
Yep, I mean,
for El Niro.
Norino, I believe it is. No Nero. El Niro. I don't know what that means, but guess it's probably Spanish. As yeah, 4 scouts looks like maybe enough to take this down. The introduction of a spear makes that not so. This is quite a ton of military investment from many players here. This is actually like the biggest early fight for mid I think we've seen all tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they want the additional resources. I mean, at this point, I mean, Mihai has controlled it for so long. They could go on to a really huge boom here. It did step out of the mid there, but
that is so unfortunate. And that actually gives No Nero a chance to take it. When this teal militia dies, I don't know who gets precedent. But yeah, stepping out momentarily is going to possibly cost yellow hundreds of resources of collection here from the monument.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's held it for the longest, so he's probably pretty happy with his position. At least I would be. I mean, almost 550 stone in the bank already here for Mihai. Can't complain.
Yep, and it switches back to yellow. I am curious what the specific mechanics are of that. When the units die in middle, who does it pass to if multiple players are standing there?
Yeah. Looks like Weasel's coming forward. He'll try to wall up potentially.
Stream sniper here, walling in those 2 relics. JK, I doubt he's actually stream sniping. It's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious to wall in your segment, especially if you have something so valuable as 2 relics. As he walls out one of the relics, no.
He is in Castle Age. He is getting the monastery. Yep, he could still retrieve that one should he desire to.
It's gone, dude. Weasel is giving up on that one. It's possibly never scouted it.
Ganji will have 2 here shortly. But yeah, back to the matter at hand. Boom, 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 boom. And Mihai holds the center here. That's about it, guys. We'll keep a close eye on things as everything progresses here. We do have Snappy going for a monastery. He doesn't have any relics within his control of his walls, so maybe he'll be trying to grab something. Masty James actually retreating with his monk here, seeing the scouts potentially. Not wanting to lose his monk.
That monk is deep in the danger zone. Yeah, as the relic is being patrolled by scouts, there will be no chance that no Nero loses that to just a monk.
Yeah, definitely should not. And looks like the villager will show that the monk is there, so that monk will not stand a chance, and there's not another one coming over to try to snag that relic either. Ganji actually gonna go and try to snag the relic from in front of Mihai as well, so Ganji gonna have a 3 relic position here shortly.
He's primed to get Weasel's walled out relic as well. He could very plausibly get 4. As he gets fervor, I like it.
Yeah, Weasel's going out now, so he's gonna secure the 2 for himself, it looks like.
Alright, good work, Weasel. I didn't have faith. Very nice, Weasel.
Yeah.
Yep, and Gabe is walled up too. I was worried he would be a mega noob, but it looks like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, as I said, Gabe is not really a serious Age player, but he is a serious StarCraft player, and I've played with him before. He definitely knows how to hit pop cap with full upgrades, but the skill set needed to win one of these games is significantly wider than just knowing how to pop up.
Yeah, currently most vills, Ganji and Master James have the most. Looks like Master James has 51 now. So things are getting up there as far as villager count is concerned, but still a long ways off from the end of this one by any means. Snappy taking the mid here with a batch of knights. So Mihai pushed away there. Relic was just collected for Ganji, so he lost a vill to a monk to a scout here, trying to get that one. Will end up with 3 relics to himself. Otherwise, guys, everyone's just trying to boom up here. Should see everyone on 3, 4, 5 TCs anytime.
Yeah, with 250 pop, I think like 5 TCs is merited.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's quite up to that number yet. Looks like 4 TCs for most everyone. Ganji looks to be the first one to get that 4th and 5th. So Ganji is the highest elo player, I believe, right? So
yeah, and with Britons, that is a little easier to afford. Yeah. The relics will really smooth things out for Ganji. And yeah, we're probably just looking at a nice slow burn for the next 200 years. As Snappy must be pretty pleased with his hold on center here. Nice to get the resources. Also gives you a nice sense of map and game control to hold the mid. And even if he doesn't have like a strong chance of taking it now, you know, he's thinking and dreaming, maybe they just let me have it, you know? Like, we've seen players take it from the start as well. By holding it now, his economy should certainly be competitive. At least by economy, I mean total resources collected. So, things looking up for Snappy. Or Snappy. Let's just call him Snappy.
Yeah, and the one thing that is going to be difficult here is to raid your opponent if they do have mid. To try to raid their economy is going to be rather difficult compared to every other map. So,
I mean, until there's onagers. And honestly, the wood lines between the players are pretty thin as well. Ganji, in particular, is chopping a Weasel. And Weasel, you know, he plays Age every day. Like, I'm not gonna disrespect him by saying he's a noob. But if he comes head to head with Ganji, I have a hard time imagining him not crumbling.
Well, I feel like that's a lot of people at this point, though. Ganji's up there, you know? I don't know what his elo is, but...
But even if you're outmatched, in a free-for-all, all you need to do is make it costly for the enemy to engage you. You don't need to beat them. You just need to, like, put up enough fight to deter them.
Yep. Weasel confirming his 250 pop. Mihai says 10 TC boom. He has, 4 right now, so...
Yep. Players are just prepping their economies. There's not too much to do for the next 150 years of game time, which I guess is like, I don't know, 10 minutes. I should really learn the conversion factor between years and real minutes.
Well, I believe Red Bull had a timer of, 900 years was an hour and 15-minute in-game time.
Okay.
100 years is 10 minutes in-game time, is what chat is saying.
All right, that's a smooth conversion. Then you also need to convert in-game time to real time. Just Age of Empires things.
Yeah. Ganji gonna pull the relics back from the front even, so he's
definitely smart. Yeah.
Very much
forward monasteries super dangerous.
Yeah, Ganji actually broke through the walls of our red player here. Not that he's looking to do anything with it, but he does have those militia doing some damage there. And more stone walls even farther forward for Ganji here. I mean, this map, of any maps, holding the mid for the first countdown is a really good possibility, I feel like, to take the game.
Just because nobody is going to want to fight you on it? Yeah, I feel that.
Well, and you have, like, limited open central areas for it to be, like, contested. Like, think about players coming from across the map right now from Snappy's position. They're going to be hitting each other, running into each other a lot more easily with the closed map situation.
I mean, maybe. Like, I remember the Mongolia game, though, where it was taken on the initial countdown. Part of why that was possible is because people were fighting with their neighbors. It seems less likely to me that people will be fighting with their neighbors here. The design of the map essentially focuses everybody on mid without any option. I suppose as you're leaving your tunnel, you might clash with your neighbor a little bit. But whoever is in mid first, I think, might get gang stomped by the other players. Let's wait and see, man. I've never played or observed a free-for-all King of the Hill game on a map like this.
Fair enough. Looks like Snappy's got quite a bit of res in the bank. We'll be clicking to the Imperial Age now. Mihai already in the Imperial Age. Going for a lot of barracks. So probably just Halb, Hoofnies. We've seen this tried a couple times now. It does play a huge aspect onto the game, but we obviously haven't seen them win with that position yet. So we'll see how that works out for Mihai this game.
Yep, the Hoofnies thing is really interesting. It's like probably the single unit with the most potential to just dish out damage. But at the end of the day, it costs like 225 gold a pop, and it's just so unsustainable. But for the first few pushes, the Hoofnies are incredibly valuable and useful.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on them yet in this mode, but we'll see what they have. Unique tech, Burgundian Vineyards coming in for Snappy. A good tech. He'll be having a nice trickle of gold.
Yep, and can we take a look at my buddy Gabe's base over there? I'm a little curious. Is he still just the one TC?
No, he's added TCs. They're farming town centers, but he's added.
Oh, nice.
So
I like it. Very deliberate base layout.
Yeah, he looks like he's amassing some army here in the mid as well. So he's looking okay. He's in it. He's not dead yet. So
Not dead yet. The highest standard.
Blue's eco is 68 right now. Weasel the next lowest at 98. Everyone else 122 for Snappy, and then it just goes up from there. Ray has 194 vills. Ganji has 208. They're fully focused on the economy right now, which makes a lot of sense in a 250 pop game.
Yeah, and 170 years left is an eternity. Players are correct to kind of ignore mid, as a few halbs from Nasty James take it.
Yep, not too hard. Only a few knights in the mid. His elo. Yep. Oh, Blue's elo? Not very
He's not
high.
like an active... He's not an active player. Yeah. Him and some of the players tomorrow are a level of noob that I think most of the guys here I'm familiar with. There's this thing in Age, maybe they have it in other games, where players will play for years and still call themselves noobs and think of themselves as noobs. And sometimes you forget that there are true noobs out there, people with, maybe less than I mean, Gabe's played over the years. He probably has over 100 hours of play across the years. But yeah, effective 1v1 elo would probably be like 700 or something.
Yeah, I mean, appreciate him signing up and playing, participating. He is getting some more town centers up. Looking like he's keeping himself active, so...
He's not that big a noob, man. Some of the people from the Banano community who will be playing tomorrow, I mean, I posted in the Banano forums asking for anybody saying even huge noobs are welcome. And one person replied, I have a long way to go before I'm a huge noob. And I think they might be serious. But they still signed up.
Hey, fair enough, fair enough. Looks like everything's heating up quite heavily here. Ganji is starting to produce some military as... Ooh! Mihai with the Hoofnise coming over, poking the 2K.
Yeah, and Masty also going for Oninger. The cuts begin as players are actually going to fight their neighbors, which makes the early holds seem pretty good.
I think it's necessary. I mean, that's the thing about this map that I liked better than Black Forest when we looked at it, though, is it's much more contestable, I feel like, than Black Forest is. So, we'll see what happens. We have a massive number of elite Magyar warriors over here just waiting in the wings. The economies are going to be insane for everyone. Mid has no one in it securing it, so Massey James will take that real quick. Snappy looks like he's gearing up to take a big push at the mid, though.
Yeah, this massive castles he has here is not going to stand forever. It's going to be very useful for an early push, but if he gets repelled, he'll never be able to like easily replace 3 castles. It does look like Snappy is gearing up for an early attempt at it.
Yeah, Mihai is still trying to chop through. He's going to try to chop through in another choke. Ganji is preparing the military forces, though. He's got a bunch of trebs coming out, so maybe we'll even see some werewolf hits here.
In a game like this, I think 100% both unique techs come in.
Middle is going to be down to 100 years.
Yep, as Snappy takes it right as it's transitioning to 100 years. Snappy with probably the most total res collected thanks to his long hold on mid is going to make an earnest go at this from the get-go. And Mihai and Ganji, the 2 strongest players in the game, totally distracted with one another. This is actually looking good for Snappy. Mihai's not contesting it. Ganji's not contesting it. Gabe isn't going to contest it.
Gabe is going to get rolled by Snappy here, it looks like. The military composition alone makes me very worried for Gabe's long-term health here.
Oh boy.
Nothing in mid right now either.
Is Snappy really going to want to abandon mid? Yeah, he's just pushing him back a little. He's not actually diving in for the kill.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he's going for it. There's a
He
lot
might
of
realize.
res. Oh,
Yeah.
and Ray chopping through as well to Gabe.
Oh boy, rip Gabe.
Yeah, it does not look
Yeah,
pretty. Master James
yeah,
takes the center control with one halberdier as well. I feel
yeah,
like trying to hold mid here, though, could be extremely, extremely likely to take it with all the things going on in the map.
yeah. I mean, if you're snappy, clearly there's some value in going for mid. You might win the game, but with Gabe's score, it's probably clear that there's a lot of resources to possibly capture,
Yeah, Ray
and
and
yeah, it's
Snappy
just too
both
tempting.
will be dealing with Snappy pretty handily here, it looks like.
But Gabe's a warrior, man. He's not going down without a fight.
Master James holding the mid with like nothing right now, has basically no military on the field. And here comes Mihai in the mid now. So it looks like he's backed off of the fight in the north here. Yeah, it looks like Snappy backed off, but now Ray is coming in with melee two-handed swords here.
Oh, a little poor micros. The Janissaries are just running somewhere. I don't know. Oh boy, and Gabe's got kind of nothing behind this.
Yep, Snappy's actually sending Vills in already. He's gonna probably take this gold is what he's gonna go for. Yeah, he's gonna put town center on it. So he'll be pretty happy with that. Otherwise, across the map, not much going on. They're not really fighting each other anymore, except looks like walls. Yep, walls for Ganji and Mihai here. They just decide to leave it be at the moment. As Mihai is making a push for the mid, he and Ray will clash.
Yeah, poor Gabe, man. I mean, I guess it's predictable. Honestly, it's his score that probably did him in. Players can smell the weakness in the score.
Yeah, middle control for Mihai right now, but with a bunch of halbs and then there being two-handed swordsmen. Oh, so Hoofnise just eliminate a bunch of two-handed swordsmen. My goodness.
Yeah, this is a nice map for Hoof Nisei. A lot of chokes, and yeah, Hoof Nisei obviously are going to have a much better time getting splash damage when the units are running through narrow passageways.
Yeah, absolutely. The Britain longbows are showing up here. Castles from Snappy also doing some damage here. Mihai probably won't hold this for very long.
Yeah, there's no chance that these halbs can hold this, but there's also nowhere to retreat. They might as well just trade.
Yep, Hoof needs to do a good job, take out some elite longbows. It's like Ray takes top score as he is still killing Gabe off, as Gabe is down to villagers, it looks like.
76 Vills, though. But yeah, he's not running anywhere safe here. I appreciate him signing up and playing. The game is very dynamic. Got players all across the spectrum, I'll say.
Yeah, Ray is going to take some resources then from Gabe's base. Looks like we have some bombard towers from Mihai. The Constolier going up against these Halb is just a slaughter. Not even worth it in that. But otherwise, around the map, pretty calm. Ray is not happy. He says, we doing this with the bombard tower blocking off the wood. Yeah, and no pawns. Yeah, this is Amazon Tunnel, not Black Forest. Ray sending Vills in over here. Looks like Gabe is down to 29 Vills. He will be our first victim here today.
Yeah, I think he might keep playing SimCity Farmville so long as he has any Vills left. But I don't think that he's gonna be given the chance to pop back up. Yeah, the map is actually looking tight. I know there's a ton of wood, but with all the players being so strong, it feels like there's very little space, actually.
Yeah, this looks like a really good push here for Snappy on mid too. Down to 80 years. He's got castles and more castles. Ray is kind of cut off here because of all of the bombard towers from Mihai. He's going to lose mid to Weasel as Weasel just runs through and there's just nothing in the mid. I don't know where Weasel thinks he's going.
Misclick.
But Gabe, he has 16 vills somewhere. I don't know exactly where they are. He's got one building in this town center right now, so he's not giving up.
Yep, I appreciate it. I mean, in that last game that went really long, if it runs long enough, anything's possible. But he's going to need to get up to at least like 100 vills again somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Hoofnise going to start to take down these castles. Snappy is dealing with Ray on the back side here in Gabe's base.
Yeah, and it's just so costly for Snappy to lose these castles.
Ooh, Weasel chops through and has Paladin and Elite Lightus just destroying Ganji's base right now. Ganji's chopping a bunch of wood, headed back to try to deal with this. But this is a impressive push here that Ganji has to worry about now.
Yeah, Ganji's actually taking tremendous damage here. Yeah, he was sleeping on Weasel. I'm proud of Weasel for having the courage to go for Ganji here. Yeah, this is excellent. He's basically stabbing him in the back here, and he's just getting tremendous damage.
Yeah, he's taking out a lot of economy already. Forced all of the military back as well. I don't know, though. We'll see if they can hold off. Obviously, the units are spread across, but this has forced a bunch of halb and longbows back here. Yep. Ray also coming forth on Snappy from behind in the mid here to try to find a pathway to the mid. He's chopped through even, and he's going to try to take things out. Weasel also holding mid at the moment. We got some big onager shots here as Weasel is going after these onagers. Going to lose a lot, but looks like he will take out the onagers at the end of the day.
Yeah, very good damage. But at the same time, I think that Weasel is now on Ganji's radar. And I worry for Weasel when Ganji comes back at full strength. Because as much damage as Weasel has done to Ganji, I think Ganji can fully recover from these wounds. And yeah. I don't know what Weasel's going to do when the gold runs out.
Yeah, Ray still getting harassed over here by the Hussar from Gabe, so Gabe not giving up, trying to fight this back. Big fight between Ray and Snappy over here as well. Mihai holding the mid, 90 years remaining. Pretty strong military in the mid as well.
Yep, I mean, this is the ideal Bohemian comp. The thing he's really missing is some walls, I guess.
Bills
the fundamental
are right here, though.
Yeah. If he can get some walls up around this mid with the Hoofnies on the inside, I think that's a formula for winning the game.
Yep, checking the point of view here from Red, as asked Otter. Looking like he's starting to see things in the mid, but not a ton. Snappy losing a lot of castles, fighting heavily against Ray here, losing a lot of position. Gabe still poking and trying to help deal with Ray, trying to get some of his base back. The mid, though, is the concern right now, as we're down to 70 years. Mihai is sitting comfortably in the mid. Weasel's raids really hurt Ganji here, but Ganji has survived, has large military still alive. But Hoofnise could do great things here.
Oh, I feel like I just saw a giant Hoofnise friendly fire shot.
You just saw a lot of good hits there as well. The
Yep.
Magyar Hussar are coming in though, and
Oh
this
boy.
is anti-siege at its best.
Yeah, Magyar Hussar deal bonus damage to siege. This is a Hoofnise player's worst nightmare here. I don't care how good your help micro is. There's no way that these survive.
No, it
Yeah,
looks
as the
like they're all
Hoofnise
going to
try to
go
flee the
down.
battlefield. Oh boy, this is going to be so costly. 10 Hoofnise going down in exchange for pure food units. This is, yeah, why I don't want to go Bohemians myself in these settings. The death ball is so good until it gets cleaned up all at once.
Weasel looks like he's just going to bypass, and he's just going to head into base of red here. Map changes hands.
Yep, and Snappy called GG, apparently thinking that mid was being lost there, but it was not even close.
Yeah, he said he's misread the timer. Ray sitting here pretty comfortably, fighting up. Gabe is still alive. He's repopping. He's hanging in.
Yeah, he's actually hanging pretty well. And he still has a fair amount of like gold and stone in his base up against the edge, which it seems like his attackers didn't notice.
Yeah, yeah. Center control now belongs to Masty James here, and we see Ganji making some very interesting walls. Looks like he's just trying to secure his position here, make it harder and harder to get through this area. Hoofnise numbers are coming back, though. So Mihai is going to try to take out these trebs. Shouldn't be too hard at this point.
Super interesting play by Ganji here, basically building a sea of stonewall segments just to make it so that units have a harder time getting to and surrounding the longbow. I really like it.
Yeah, but with all of these
Hoofnise, this is risky. Oh my god, no!
Somehow he gets away with a lot of longbowmen, but
yeah.
Still rough, still rough. He was trying to make it so the longbow would die to one Hoofnise. Yeah, that's pretty much what he was doing there. Middle's going to change hands. Massey James only has a few champions left here in the mid. We haven't talked a lot about Masty James. He's kind of kept to himself here. He doesn't have a lot of military. Looks like he's probably banking res. We'll switch over to the res counter. Yeah, Masty James has 30 plus K of food and wood right now. But yeah, everything is pretty rough all the way around here. Gabe's surviving to live to fight another day. Big fights over here between Ray and Snappy continue. Weasel has raided Ganji. He attempted to get into raid El Nino. Wood is ever so fastly disappearing between players.
I'm not worried about it becoming a wood game, though. The map, like, at the start, is possibly 50% wood, even if they do a lot of deliberate chopping. It seems quite unlikely that the wood's going to actually come close to running out.
Yeah, I mean, the middle right now is pretty much the focus for everyone, I think. Ray is the only one really fighting on the other front here. He's kind of been blocked off from the mid. He's kind of walled that up, not really too worried about it. Looks like he plans to go through Snappy here. But Gabe and Snappy still keeping the fight up against Ray here. Hoofnise shots are ridiculous. Ganji's asking for him not to attack him.
Yeah, it's always funny to see the players, like, pleading to not attack one another. I feel like it does sometimes work, you know, even if it's totally a joke. Having somebody ask you to stop sometimes makes you feel for them a little bit.
Yeah, 60-something years remaining. Everyone's coming to the mid right now. Flemish The Flemish Revolution, folks. Snappy
Ooh.
hits it, and he's headed to the mid, apparently, with that in mind.
I don't know if I like this timing. I would have preferred to save it for a time when, like, there wasn't already giant armies at mid. This feels like a bit of a waste for a one-time pop tech.
Yeah, it definitely feels rough. But he is here nonetheless with Flemish Revolution, and maybe just going to repop behind. So he's got some vills coming out. Hasn't sent all of his units forward anyways. I mean, he's taken this time to fight off something that I think he could have dealt with just military, but we'll see if it pays off at all. It looks like Gabe is just going to make it his determination to be annoying as he can be to Ray now and try to keep himself in the game.
He's reclaiming his base to some extent. If I were Gabe, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably wait until I was a little stronger. But, yeah, everything's encroaching on Gabe's economy.
Yeah, nothing happening on the southern corner here. But Weasel does have a lot of Lightus and Paladin on this side. Maybe he's considering doing another raid here.
Because Weasel has mid at the moment, and it kind of looks like, I don't know, Ganji has such a huge standing force. It's difficult to imagine anybody taking the game anytime soon when so many players are still so strong.
Yeah, I think like what Ray had in mind trying to kill someone off, I think if he was left alone and Snappy wasn't here as well, I think that it would have been the key early on, honestly. I mean, Mastic James is just banking. He has 201 vills, has a huge bank, not fighting with anyone. I like his position economically, but unit-wise, we've seen the Teutonic Knights do tank quite a bit of damage. We also see we have stables, so potentially Paladin going to be coming in for him. Hufnise just going to destroy these skirmishers. Weasel will lose all those rather quickly.
Nice split attempt, at least. Yep, as players, yeah, don't seem to be making earnest attempts at mid right now. Maybe they're all just calculating that it's too hard to take.
Ray has a military force he's trying to use, but not use a ton of it over here. He is pushing back castles. Snappy says he lost everything. Well, I mean, he kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, when you build a giant mass of castles near mid, like, it's obviously going to get cleaned up. That is where everybody brings their siege.
Yeah, he's pushing Ray back, though, over here. Ray's military production is right here, though. But mid, still something to pay attention to. We're waiting to see how this works out. Mihai not making any defensive buildings or more production buildings forward like he attempted to last time. Still has a few here, actually, that haven't been cleaned up. Oh, but Ganji chops through, or blasts his way through with an onager, and he will be interfering with the reinforcements.
Yeah, but at the same time, the death ball in mid is possibly enough to take it without considerable reinforcements. Well, never mind, it's gone.
Looks like it's headed back to try to deal with Ganji right now. I mean, this is going to be an effective raid here, for sure.
Yep, I mean, it's looking like this map is certainly going to take the game long. Killing your neighbors might actually be the correct thing to do. Ignore mid, kill neighbors, win in an hour.
Yeah, Could be, could be. Weasel still securely sitting on Lytus and Paladin in the back of the base here. Maybe just waiting for his opponent over here to chop through. Would do a really good job against all the Magyar Hussar here.
Yep, does Weasel need any more enemies? I don't know. I mean, I guess what I just said is probably true. The way to win is to be stronger than your neighbors. So I guess attempting to raid your neighbors is the way to go. I don't know if Weasel wants to expend his gold units, though.
Yeah, he is
Raiding
saving
up
them.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's got quite a few of them built up again. He did raid Ganji earlier. That worked out pretty well for him. But obviously Ganji, the player of his level, is just fine. So,
Yep. And I was thinking that the strength of Lithuanians was in the trash in the end. So maybe hurting his neighbors, getting up a bunch of production, and trying just to spam trash towards mid would be viable for Weasel.
yeah, Mihai is losing all of his production buildings. Not being able to hold mid here. Mid is held by Weasel with nothing in the mid.
But he has units close by. I mean, this is the kind of opportunity the players should seize on. Weasel should recognize, like, is he going to get a better shot at mid than what he has now? He should consider just sending all and trying to make this the whole, as he does lose it. I don't know. For a guy like Weasel, man, I feel like that kind of random opportunity where there's just a lull in the battle is how he has a chance to take it.
Yeah, yeah. Ganji cleaning up a lot of buildings right now, and we're seeing a skirm switch for our Bohemian player to try to deal with the force here for Ganji, but there's onagers mixed in, so that will be rather difficult. Ray looks like he has turned his full focus back over here to Gabe. It's like he and Snappy have called it quits at the moment.
Yeah, Gabe, I'm proud of him for not going gently in this one, though. He's putting up a fight at every step of the way, almost hitting 10,000 score. Yeah, holding it toe-to-toe with some pretty high-level players. That's a pretty raw noob.
Yeah, Snappy is also still fighting him now. He's just waiting for a moment. So this is good for Gabe to be able to stay into this one for a while. I mean, he has the Janissaries. They just need to be upgraded to Elite Janissaries to really do a magnificent job here. But Ganji, it looks like he's not going to allow this to go on anymore over here. He's killed all the production that he can, and it looks like he's still going to fight this. Weasel, I mean, Weasel could come mid with everything right now and have a really solid shot here.
Honestly, Weasel is an insane underdog in this game. He's being gifted a free ride to 50 years. He has a huge gold army still standing. He has full eco still capable of spam. I mean, even if you think there's only a 10% chance that you can win now, 10% is a lot better than he would have guessed his chances of being before the game started.
Yeah, his skirms are getting slaughtered, though.
Send your army, man!
Yeah, no, he's not. He's going to give up mid here. He's going to lose about 70 skirms or whatever.
What a shame. Look at how little investment all the other players have here. If he just sent all, I think that he does have a true chance to take it. But I don't know. I think a huge part of King of the Hill is choosing when to take your stand. And I think that was Weasel's window.
Yeah, definitely seems like it would have been a good plan. We are seeing Gabe and Snappy just deal with Ray here. And it's been quite a decent effort here from both of them to do so.
Yep, as Gabe's mustering a pretty legit army here. Bombard Cannon, Hussar, Janissary. As his score, is now handily above 10k. Gabe is really showing all the noobs that anything's possible out there.
Ganji continues to push here, but it's getting a little bit more difficult for Ganji to do so. But he has done a great job dealing with Mihai as they're looking to be in a pretty rough spot here. Longbows being microed to try to deal with the Hufnise. There are still Flemish Revolution on the field. Somehow, some way.
Well, I think you can re-queue the Flemish Militia from your TCs once you've done the attack.
I don't think that's accurate at all.
I actually don't have the DLC. I don't know.
I don't think that's accurate at all. I think that's impossible. Weasel's going to do some raiding here. He's going to try to deal with Red, who's just been sitting back for the most part. Interestingly, Masty James and El Nero chop through to each other and have just been peaceful for the time being.
Yeah, I think it's smart to be peaceful with your neighbors often. I don't know exactly what Weasel thinks he's going to gain from picking fights with El Nornero here. It's just going to give El Nornero the idea and the incentive to raid him back.
Yeah, 20k gold for Masty James is just insane.
Yeah. As Weasel is walking into another 70-year countdown himself, perhaps he'll get the idea to try and make it. No, as he completely abandons it.
I don't think he's really looking to hold the mid for some reason.
I think that maybe he's got a defeatist attitude, man. Maybe he doesn't think it's possible for him to win, as he just leaves mid. Yo, he's full strength, and he was just gifted a 50-year countdown. And the fact that no other players are around should show him that everybody else is distracted.
Yep, Gabe looks like he's getting cleaned up again, though.
Oh my god, so many bombard cannons for this phase of the game.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty. Not looking pretty there. But yeah, mid control still there. Weasel does have a capped ram cleaning up some of these walls from Ganji as well. It's gonna come down to a crazy fight, obviously, but I can't believe that Masty James is not with hardly any military in the mid, to be honest.
Players seem to have given up on the idea of mid, as Weasel is finding himself with yet another golden opportunity. I think with each opportunity, it actually becomes slightly worse for him. But
it's like full skirm too, other than his gold comp. Like I feel like he's just.
He should be prepared to spam Helb as well. You know, you can't fault him. It's a tough game full of high-level players. It's when you're in the heat of things, it's very unclear what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, Gabe's surviving, but it's getting rough again for him. But Snappy comes back into it here.
That giant army of bombard cannons Gabe lost is irreplaceable. I don't know how he's going to muster such a force again.
Yep, Ganji still fighting with Mihai up here. It looks like he's going to try to finish the job here. Weasel's down to 64 years in mid.
At some point, man, he has to have the idea to win the game.
I mean, he has a bunch of Paladin, a bunch of Lightus.
Does he not see that army, I wonder? It really hasn't moved for so long.
Maybe. It looks like Masty James has sent over some lumberjacks even to Snappy's base.
Gabe's in trouble.
Weasel's down to 50 years. He's sending vills, it looks like, maybe. Not all of them, but he's sending some.
Honestly, I think he doesn't see this giant cavalry army.
Let's see. Does he have buildings or anything? No, he's not.
What?
Looks like he's just going to give it up. Giving it up again.
Why, Weasel? And the fact that he's sending a small group of cavalry makes me feel like he doesn't see his big group of cavalry.
It's gold intensive, though. He might be saving it.
Saving it for what, man? That was the golden opportunity.
Listen, we have seen players drag games out at this point, to the point where we're asking someone just to win it. Like, so this isn't really too shocking of a situation, I feel like. Masty James is adding some military, not a ton. Again, he's just banking up resources. Gabe lives yet to see another day.
Oh boy, but with each time Gabe is defeated, he has less to bounce back with. He'll have no gold for his next comp.
Yeah, that will be really tough with Turks. Mihai is slowly getting destroyed, and he only has 12 food now. His hopes of this one may be diminishing quickly here.
I don't know. It would encourage me a lot to see Weasel move his large army just a little bit, just show he knows about it.
He's just saving. He's still producing latest. Like, he's pop capped. He's just sitting on it as long as he can. He's getting block printing. I don't know why he's getting block. He's getting all of the monk decks right now. Interesting.
I think he's probably just getting what he needs to deal with Hoofnisse and Bombard cannons. But like, I don't think that monks are the solution to that in a late game in these settings. I think that should be Hussar.
Massey James now down. The counter continues to get lower and lower here. He has the res behind it, right? So he has the largest banks of all resources in the game right now.
But where is the army?
It's all Vils right now.
50 years! 50 years!
225 Vils, and he's just going to lose his units to skirms in the mid here.
I don't think players realize how little 50 years is. Like, when you get the counter down to 50 years and you're not being contested, I mean, the win condition is to hold mid. Like, it's an opening. Gotta go for it.
He's microing one champion. Like, he's just going to try to hold it for as long as he can and then back away. He's just dragging it out is what he's doing here. Mihai is dead. There's no coming back from Mihai now. He's losing his last of his villagers. His town center is about to be lost. I did tell you it was a mistake making me your enemy, Mr. Mihai. So yeah, he's I think he's down to no vills now, right? He's 77 vills somewhere. Oh, he's retreated. He's stealing farms from Ray.
Yeah, 77 vills is actually a ton to run away with.
And he has the mid still. He has the mid area he's clinging on to here. But this is seen. Ray doesn't see it, but he has a bombard. Oh, maybe Ray doesn't see it. Ray is occupied elsewhere? Yeah, Ray is over here fighting. Bombard cannons for Snappy. Good military from Snappy still. Ganji sees Mihai in the center here. Weasel down to 75 years and counting down.
As I keep saying, I'm struck by the fact that nobody's fighting for mid. The fact that nobody is should tell players that everybody's distracted, which is the best time to do it.
Yeah, it's really interesting here because both players in the south here really haven't done any combat as far as it's concerned, except for mid a couple times. I mean, 222 vills still for Masty James here. Alright, we have seen from Ray that he sees what's happening with Mihai up here. He's sending in the elite battle elephants, the halbs, two-handed swordsmen. So he's very well aware of what's going on up here.
Yep, you can't let somebody relocate to your base.
Yeah, and Ganji's continuing to push everything. Looks like the TC will go down shortly here. There's only a few bombard towers left. Weasel is going to lose mid. I don't know why you're surprised at this point. The mid is not...
It's not surprise, it's disappointment, you know. I feel like the players... I don't know. They're forgetting the objective. Maybe the higher level players know that they kind of need to deal with each other in order to win, but the lower rated players, they kind of have to hope to sneak out a victory. And Weasel keeps on being gifted decent opportunities. And if he's not seizing on these, I feel he has no hope to seize on anything later.
Yeah, Snappy cleans up the military buildings over here, -1 barracks. Uh, Gabe lives to see another day. Mihai is really going downhill quick. 19 vills. He's walled a Hoofnise in the corner. Weasel at 80 years and nothing in the mid here now. It's like Weasel's going to go try to do some raiding for Ganji.
Yeah, but Snappy has kind of quietly become the score leader in the game. At one point, it looked like Snappy was cleaned up, but somehow, yeah, he's back to full strength apparently.
He's been fighting a lot down here. I think that's been his main situation, as he and Ray have been duking it out pretty heavily. With Mihai all but taken out of the game now, 0 villagers. I think he has 1 Hoofniece in the back, a few barracks. He is completely out of this one here. Will be the first one eliminated before too long, I imagine. Ganji coming to the mid. Weasel with some more production buildings forward here as well.
But this is such a worse time to take it, as Ganji's sitting here with a giant army now. Yeah, Weasel's also missing help from his comp. I think Weasel's making a few key mistakes. It's interesting, though, that the players are leaving Weasel so much like latitude. They would never, I think, allow one of the other well-known higher-rated players to casually take the counter down to 40 years without any contest.
Yeah, keeps. Britain keeps. Coming up for Ganji in the center here.
That feels a little redundant with all the longbows, I gotta say.
Well, I mean, it does, but it's more DPS per second, right? So, that is the goal. Gabe still alive. He is building up a Hussar bombard cannon army. He has limited numbers, and he will have a hard time dealing with what's coming if Ray and Snappy ever stop fighting with each other.
Yeah, those bombard cannons are gonna have a hard time making things work with so much cavalry and everything else swarming the field.
Yeah, Ganji even taking out some of those production buildings close to mid. More keeps coming. I think this is where we really need to see Nasty James and El Nero get into the mid.
Yeah, El Nero has been the king of sitting back this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is. I think it's not that much of a stretch to say that he has done nothing all game.
Yeah, and Nasty James has a huge bank, and he will have to try to deal with something with this. And we have attack grounds on these trebs. So the plan for Ganji is for Werewolf Treb to hold behind all these longbows. Amazing.
Yep, I mean, this is actually an incredibly solid hold here. This looks like a pretty unbreakable position. I mean, I'm sure that if like 400 population were to descend on it, it would still break. But in order to take mid here, I think there's going to need to be some coordination between the players who are not Ganji. And I question if such coordination will happen.
Yeah, it looks like Ray and Snappy are agreeing to mutually split this off here and head into the mid. I mean, this looks very difficult for anyone to deal with here, as everyone will have to come mid now. But will it be enough? Ganji secured a great position in the mid here.
Yeah, you say that, but he kind of needs to flee from these onagers. at any given moment, it looks like he has just a couple units in mid. But as the onagers go down, yeah, Ganji should be emboldened to re-enter.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine too. He's
He
gonna
lost
have.
control.
He's still got a prominent position here.
But he lost control, the counter restarted, and turned to another player.
It's true.
It's finally El Noniro holds it, but like with Ganji's keep and longbow masses here, I don't know how anybody else can stick around.
I don't know. Ray has a lot of military as well. He's yet to push into the center. Weasel still has a ton of elite Lightus. Maybe Weasel goes for the... Yeah, he looks like he's going for the raids now, or going to attempt to. He has the Winged Hussar there, so... This hold in mid that Ganji's trying could be difficult to hold if Weasel can go raid. And looks like he will send in a few units to try to pick away at the economy here. Yellow is still alive because of one or two military buildings, one Hufnise, 0 vills for Mihai left. Mihai picked the wrong enemy, unfortunately for him.
Yep, I appreciate Mihai hanging in the game though and not resigning.
Yeah, going up against Ganji though, it's gonna be difficult. Show orange, certainly Keller. Massey James has a stupid amount of resources. It's ridiculous. I can't believe he hasn't done more with this position. He still has 158 villagers with all of this as far as resources. Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, that's an understatement right now. Ganji has a ridiculous number of keeps in the mid, tons of longbow. Treb's still setting up, stone walls everywhere. Weasel is trying to cut off some reinforcements with skirm only. He's got some winged hussar in the economy, so Ganji's economy is getting picked down. See what Ganji's looking at. His res is max, but he still has quite the queue. It's a long time.
Yeah. At this phase of things, killing economy to increase their military count is not even a hindrance, really. Probably better for Ganji to have Bills die at home and military rush mid.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Bombard cannons are arriving. We have the SO here from Master James.
How can Ganji hold this? There's so many enemy units here.
He doesn't have much left in the mid. He keeps sending in light cav. He's sending the vills, maybe? No, doesn't have any vills left to send, apparently.
The light cav flood is really good.
And Weasel's just chipping away at the economy in the back. The battle elephants from Lei are here. It's a lot of HP. I don't know. He might do this here, guys.
This would be a ridiculous hold. Like, the enemy units he's had to repel in order to even get this far are tremendous. Now come, like, 100 battle elephants. And, like, pretty much another 50 Magyar Hussars. This would be a heroic hold if Ganji can pull this off.
The longbow's just getting destroyed.
Oof,
oh.
Yeah, he's been dancing for a long time. Yeah, I think that seals it. Ganji.
I don't know. He still has the Q.
So it's basically Britain light cav and keeps. I don't think that's enough for 40 years with this kind of enemy force around.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be very rough.
The flood is real though.
And that flood is getting smaller and smaller. Look at the queue. It was 2 bars wide a second ago, and it's already depleted.
Yeah, and this is how the mid often looks in a free-for-all. This is not how it looked a while ago, which would have been the golden opportunity to take it. It seems all the players are no longer focused on killing each other, and rather it's just a giant convergence in mid. As Ganji still has a hold on this. He has not given up.
Yeah, red, though, cutting reinforcements off can be really good. It looks like it's starting to dwindle as far as what purple is in the mid. Light Cav running in circles is the only chance he has left.
Yep, and you know he's getting under 20 years. He has a chance, man.
He has things garrisoned.
Is that his plan to unload the garrison like that?
I don't think he had a choice. 15 years. I don't think it's gonna be enough. It's so close.
It's a pretty epic attempt. He gets down to 10.
GG, Ganji says. As Ganji resigns, as he is basically dead, I mean, Weasel is killing him from behind here as well. What an attempt.
Yep, he gave it his all. He is pretty tapped out at this point. 17 pop, almost no res in the bank. It's a reasonable time to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tower is still in the mid, but those will be cleaned up pretty handily. Gabe, living to fight another day here, is pushing back Snappy's buildings, which I don't know if he wants to really fight Snappy, but...
Yeah, and can you check his units? I'm curious about the upgrades. If he has the Bombard Cannon range plus the Hussar Blacksmith on Gabe. Okay, yeah, full upgrades. No range upgrade on the Bombard Cannon, but that's fine. He doesn't have a castle. How could he?
Not too bad. Weasel is going to take out this monastery. Lithuanians could get to full strength here with the relics.
Oh boy, man, these long games.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while right here, guys. Gonna be a while. We have 2 players dead. Mihai is still in the game. Oh, he's been defeated finally. I don't know. It looks like his production buildings went down. Maybe he deleted those. But yeah, Masty is in the best position economically, as we see the Teutonic Paladin being masked behind here. He is holding mid with a few units now, but he's not going to stick to that. And yeah, everything is reset.
Yep, it's anyone's game. I can't believe they let Gabe survive as well as... I mean, when I say it's anyone's game, even the noob here, I think, has a chance. As players just seem so reluctant to commit to mid. I guess maybe we just saw why with Ganji. Once you commit fully, and you blow it, you are kind of out of the game.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, what do you do from here? Like, I mean, it's going to be quite difficult to push the mid here with anyone, it feels like. Masty James, obviously, with the res, has the best position. Let's take a quick look at the populations across the board here. Looks like everyone that is alive is 200 pop except for Ray. Everyone else is pop capped or pretty darn close. Ray is at the lowest pop right now. I think he just lost all of his elephants in that fight was the problem for him there, so. Intense moments, guys. That got really close. It's a hell of a hold.
It was a good attempt, but the coordination between everybody to defend it was real. I think that the reputation of the players affects things a lot. Like when Ganji goes mid, there's 500 enemy units there, like by the 50-year mark, and when Weasel goes, they literally don't defend it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Our Lithuanian player Weasel here is collecting the relics right now. So he will have 3 there. I think he had 2 previously as well. Yeah, so he has 5 relics right now. The lightest have a 16 plus 6.
And man, dude, that army has not moved for over an hour. I feel like Weasel must have forgotten about it.
Yeah, Masty James is looking to be in a really good position, though. He has huge bank. He has a lot of good gold units still remaining. Ray looks like he's going to divert his attention to the mid right now as well. Who took the relics? Yeah. That is a good question.
Yep, as I mean, I continue to love Weasel's position, especially with those extra relics. His Civ is solid. So much posturing here. It seems like every player's waiting, but what are they waiting for? You know?
Yeah. It looks like Gabe is gonna go after the economy here of Snappy, but maybe not. Maybe it was an accident.
I think it was an accident. I don't think he has any interest in that.
Yeah,
I think
I
think he's genuinely playing to win. He knows the objective is to go mid. He understands the concept of score. He has nothing to gain from attacking Snappy's economy right now.
Yeah, it looks like we have a log jam here. Can't get through the gate for Masty James, so he's got some people stuck here. Looks like he was going to try to contest and hold mid for now.
Getting to 66 years, yeah, I would have if I were him.
Well, will not happen though. Wasn't able to get through there in time. Weasel did move to Lightus, in case you were wondering. They have moved now, guys. So maybe he's aware of them. It's a really awkward position here for everyone to try to push. Obviously, you saw Ganji get taken out. And there's not really wood between players anymore. Weasel and Elniro here have the biggest gap, I think, as far as wood between them. Otherwise, it's the whole north is empty of players right now. So they got taken out. Weasel has that of Halb.
The wood is still very prevalent on the map, however.
Oh, yeah.
0% chance of this coming to a wood game. If that happens,
we'll be here for another 4 hours.
I think that we'll be casting right up until the games start tomorrow if that happens.
Oh god, that would be brutal.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't consider it. Would playing the games on fast speed ever be something you'd consider?
Oof, I don't know. That would be interesting, but I don't think people would like that, to be honest.
Yeah. I will say, I think the 250 pop is actually prolonging the games in general. I feel like our average game time is significantly greater than the average from King of the Hippo, which I would use as the only other basic comparison for a pro tournament with similar settings.
It's fair.
But at this point, we're clearly committed to our rule set.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray is going for it. He's got a lot of barracks. He's going for the spam.
Alright, let's go, Ray. You got this, bro.
His food, though, guys, is under 10k. So he's got 58 years. People are starting to dive on the mid here. There are rams in play.
Yeah. He could really use help, though. He's being attacked by pure cavalry. The two-handed swords are not the best unit for this.
Halb's not even in the queue. And his food is running ever so limited. His food queue is gone now.
Yeah, his micro here is also bad. The units don't even seem to be fighting. They're just running. The countdown is not low enough that you can be at the running phase. You need to be taking on the enemy units.
Yeah, and Siege Onagers here as well. Going to do a lot of damage. He's got the rams, but there's not going to be enough rams here, I don't think. There's only 3 or 4 of them in the mid altogether. Paladin finally show up for Masty James here. Not enough food, I think. Just not enough food. It's, he's still spamming, but he has 38 years remaining. There's a bunch of people here trying to deal with this army.
His spam is incredible.
But it's about to run out.
Yeah, and he hasn't been killing the enemy units. He's just running to mid. Yeah, the spam... If he had enough food to stay fully queued for another minute or two, I guess there'd be a chance. But this looks like he's tapping himself out. I think Ray's going to be done after this. And slowly, players are just getting eliminated, it looks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have it. He's got one unit in the mid, though. Oh, no, there's
Yep.
no ranged units.
There's a few onagers that are retreating, but yeah, the unit glitched into the banana pile actually has a chance of taking this as okay. No, the onagers are turning around. They realize it.
Oh my! If he wouldn't have called it off, he might have held it because of that stuck unit. Honestly,
Hard to say. I don't think so, but I guess anything is possible.
he's back in the mid. Like, if only he had more food.
Yep. Okay could be interpreted as. I mean, I guess speech play is on the table.
12 years it goes down. Fighting will continue here, but Ray is super low in villager count as well, so he will not hold the mid at the moment. But Masty James now has a huge target on his back.
Yeah,
Oh, and Gabe is getting cleaned up. He's gone, pretty much. All he has left is Vills. He and Snappy look like they've been going at it.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of only a matter of time. Gabe never really had his opening. I was rooting for him, but in a game like this, the level of play is really high. Unless you're very highly experienced, you're going to be such an extreme underdog.
Yep, Masty James is here. Weasel sends everything that he has, all of his gold units he's been saving up, and it looks like such a tiny army compared to what Masty James has.
This is truly bizarre. He waited all game, so many good opportunities to expend it, and now he's just wasting it for nothing. I hope I'm not too harsh. I probably wouldn't speak like this unless I knew the guy, but I am disappointed, Weasel.
I mean, he did remember them. He did a good job in the fight with Ganji, honestly.
But these units have been sitting idle for hours. He's actually really hurt himself by having so much pop space occupied for so long. Just totally waste it. Weasel, my man. Not
Damn.
like this.
Let's check Masty James' economy. He's very primed here. And he's sending everything, villagers included. It looks like he has this by far the best secured since Ganji here, without question.
So Noniro's in a position to cut the reinforcements. Weasel is fighting on the side too. Besides that, Snappy...
He's in the eco, but there's no eco. He sent all the vills that he had. So everything Masty James has is in mid right now.
And he does have a really nice position with all these castles. Players need to get in there.
He's got Elite Teutonic Knights as well in the mid, so he's sitting on a large gold comp army. And right now the Paladin and the Halb are holding off the Magyar Hussar reinforcements. Here comes some more units from Weasel in the mid. It's going to be hard to hold, but he seems to have a really good shot right now.
47 years is a long time. I am extremely skeptical. It looks good. It looks good. But there are several full-strength players. Like, 42 years is a long time to go 3v1.
This is true. The Bombard Cannons are starting to take things out as well. One Teutonic Knight there, trying to deal with those. The numbers are going down. It's turning into a full Halb Paladin spam with a bunch of Teutonic Knights. There's over 60 units in the mid with 30 years left, though.
30 years is still a long time. There's a lot of other players left who are on full spam, and I think everybody accurately recognizes that this is it. The Teutonic castles with the extra range are probably doing mad work here.
Yeah, but these castles are going down quickly. 25 years going to be down to one full-strength castle. The other ones are going down here.
Yeah, this is going to be really down to the wire, I think, man. This will not be an easy finish here for Masty James. And given what he's invested into this, this is really Masty James' best chance of winning the game by far. If he doesn't pull it off here, he won't have the strength for another attempt for so long.
15 years, guys. 15 years. I
Weasel's
think he's
got to
at it,
move
though.
forward. His units, his skirms are just peppering this stable here, and these Teutonic Knights, I think.
The stables aren't built. 10 years remaining, guys. Here we
Oh
go.
boy, this is too much. Masty James has this locked up. Where is the defense?
He's fighting
Yes.
on every angle. Like, he's done everything he can. He had a huge bank. He's holding this, and he's gone to 3 years. He's got a few units glitched into the center, so he shouldn't be able to lose this position here.
Very solid hold.
G, well played to all. Master James takes this one.